I mean, they do all kinds of little tests, you know, the APGAR score. I don't know if you've ever heard of that, but it's 10 things that they test: reflexes and muscle coordination and eye, whatever, even though babies' eyes are usually not set at that time. But they do some kind of hearing too. And they found that she couldn't hear anything. So of course I said to him, well, they do wonderful things. They do cochlear implants and stuff. And
Bob is late again.
that's not the problem. Is he coming?
I assume he is.
Did Bob say he was coming, Lisa?
He didn't say he wasn't, so
He
yeah.
said he wasn't.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi, how are you, Liz?
Yeah, he usually gets a hold of me if he's not.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so looks like we're on.
Too many attendees. Hi.
Okay, good evening.
Robert.
There he
You
is.
guys noticing anything different with Bob tonight?
Good evening, Robert.
The prodigal has returned.
It's the prodigal.
Welcome to you. Welcome to this meeting of the Old Kings Highway Historic Committee of the Town of Yarmouth, which is being held in accordance with Chapter 470 of the Acts of 1973 as amended at 7:20 on this Monday, July 11th, 2022, at the Yarmouth Town Hall Hearing Room, located at 1146 Route 28, South Yarmouth. Moreover, pursuant Chapter 20 of the Acts of 2021, considering certain COVID-19 measures, this meeting is being held in a hybrid mode, which is like a Zoom meeting. There are 4 new applications for certificates of appropriateness that will be heard this evening in the order listed on the agenda. Please be reminded that our committee's main purpose is to review items for appropriateness and setting, and it's the responsibility of the applicant to comply with the regulations of other town boards and departments, including building, conservation, engineering, health, zoning, and the sign inspector. You should know that there is a 10 calendar day appeal period starting once a decision is filed with the town clerk. Any person aggrieved by our decision tonight can appeal to the Regional Commission of the Old Kings Highway. Our office administrator will be happy to answer any questions you may have with respect to that process. So this evening, the first item on the agenda is to install 14 solar panels on the roof of 41 Hawkswing Road. Alexander Riker is the owner and Trinity Solar is the agent. Are either of those people here?
No one here?
There's someone is on Zoom, but I can't get him to tell me which application he's here for. So
There's a chat on there. Who's the chat?
yeah, it's Daniel Ohala, and I'm not sure which one he's here for.
Huh.
He hasn't responded yet.
He's an engineer.
Okay,
Here's somebody.
for Trinity. Okay.
Daniel Holla is the third one.
Okay.
Jason.
Yeah.
Hello, Jason. Let Jason in. There he is. Hi, Jason.
Can you?
There we go. Can you hear me now?
Yes, good.
Hi, everyone.
Okay.
The video, Jason?
Jill, they hide the settings here. Everything's changed since my last meeting.
Can you speak
I'm sorry, can you hear me okay?
well? Can you either raise your volume or speak up?
Sure, I'm not sure what's going on. This usually works fine. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. We
Audio.
can't see you. And it's
Okay.
hard to hear you.
I'm not sure how to turn the video on.
If it's down at the bottom of your screen there, next to what says audio, a little microphone icon.
But next to the video camera icon that says start video, and you just click on that
Very bottom of your.
bottom left.
I only have the audio settings for some reason.
Better.
All right, well, just speak up.
Sure. So you guys, should I try sharing my screen?
No, we have all of the information in front of us.
Okay. So, sorry, do you have any questions then?
No, do you want to do the summary? 14 solar panels.
Right, it's 14 solar panels. The only question I have is why you didn't go to 20?
Well, we have some guidelines with the with respect to the utility and their limitations.
Mhm.
Ah,
Okay.
yeah, because, across the nation, about 7 kilowatts seems to be what they think a home should have.
Well, that would be the average. Some are quite small. It definitely reflects the usage. We do revisit often when utility usage is increased. We can always revisit and add panels. That's common.
Right. Yeah, one of the problems with solar panels is they keep changing. And it used to be that the dimensions were pretty solid, around 40 inches by 63 or 64.
Right. Yeah, they're
Now they come in a variety of sizes and shapes, and so if you want to add to it later on, you're probably going to end up with something different.
yeah, I see that. I see that often. But they let us go, and we'll typically go a little over 100% of the offset if the roof space is available. So that's actually more of a rare occurrence that.
Yeah, this
It-
house is pretty well oriented, and
Oh, yeah.
the pitch is decent too. So you should have pretty good production.
So I'll jump into what we're going to want to discuss, which is visibility. And that's going to be a problem because it is visible from a public way. It's a limited public way. It's a roundabout that has neighbors on it, doesn't go anywhere other than neighbors making a turn to get to their house. And the vista is the house is so far set back that the percentage of the vista that would be taken up by solar panels is minute.
Yeah.
So that's my stand. I think it should be approved based on the fact that it's going to be barely visible. It will be minimally visible, but we come and trip over the same issue.
Yeah.
What does that mean? And are we not in keeping with the bylaw or the ordinance if we go ahead and approve it?
Jason, I don't know if you are aware of it, but we approved of a wind turbine at this location about 15 years ago when the house was first built, and they were thinking in terms of a little farm there with animals and growing stuff. And they were approved to have I think it's a 10 kilowatt wind turbine. And that never came about. Not sure why. But and at the time, our reasoning was this really is kind of off the beaten track. And it wouldn't be very visible unless you drove in. And the whole development at the time was just beginning. And so there were very few houses. Now there are probably 30 houses in there. But it's still kind of off the beaten track. Doesn't change anything.
I did speak to one neighbor because they waved me over to find out why I had gone around twice, because I couldn't figure out where 41 was until I made the deduction that it's that little tiny house off in the distance. And so we spoke about the fact that Alex is looking to do solar, and he said, oh, no problem, that's great. That's not on paper, so it's anecdotal, doesn't really count, but
So I think it's worth asking, are there any abutters present who would like to address us or any other interested parties?
You
Are
what?
you-
I'm
are you
sorry,
here for
could you
that?
move
You're-
up?
right, he's from 31 Hot Spring.
Oh, okay. Do
Oh.
you have any?
Solar panels you guys approved last year, and I think there's another house in the neighborhood with solar panels.
Yeah.
You don't have a problem?
Good.
Excellent. Thank you, guys.
I can stick my neck
Any
out,
other
and
thoughts?
make a motion, but yeah, you guys should express your thoughts.
Yeah.
All right, I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
Okay. All those in favor? Aye.
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 Okay.
Jason, you're all set.
Perfect. Thank you guys very much.
You're welcome.
Good night.
Let's see. 7-11.
I could hear you, so I can address that if you'd like.
No.
Okay. I have a sick husband at home, and I'd like to get home as soon as we can. Yeah.
Cindy? The next item tonight is at 31 Hawk Swing Road for construction of a cedar fence around two sides of a pool and to build an aluminum fence along the backyard. And this is at the house of Testomir and Nomura Istov, the owners. Okay, you could come up to the table. The speakers should be working there. So if you speak directly to the speakers. Pardon my pronunciation on that.
Don't worry.
Is
So
that
it's all good.
Serbian or
Bulgarian.
Bulgarian?
Yeah.
Good.
It didn't seem to me that any of the proposed work would be visible from the street. Is that correct?
So the only thing visible from the street will be the two sides of the cedar
What?
fence.
Of the cedar
The cedar
fence?
fence.
Yes,
Right.
everything else will be behind it. There's two reasons why I want to install a fence. One is for the pool. The second one, we're expecting a baby in about a month. And
Congratulations.
thank you. And we have a dog situation with the neighbors from the rentals up on Joe Road.
Mm.
There's a dog that keeps coming in and out, and we love dogs. but I wanted to keep it out of my yards for multiple
course.
purposes.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
the reason why I want the aluminum fence on the back side of it, because if you look on the pictures, there's a hill that climbs up to Joe Road, and I have garden there, so I would like to enjoy viewing the garden.
Sure,
Sure.
it's good.
Is the fence doubled at some point? Is there the metal fence wrapping around towards the front and the wood fence as well?
Correct.
Okay.
So it's a L shape from the streets next to 35 Hawkswing and then wraps around the.
Mhm.
On the other part.
Okay.
So you can't really get in between them, right? If you want to keep the dog out or something,
Yeah, the dog.
they'll connect.
They'll connect, yes. They'll
Good.
connect at the corner of the property line between us and the 35.
Right, yeah, the diagram wasn't clear on that.
Apologize.
Good. Okay.
I think it looks very nice and I move to approve.
Matt, just ask if there are any abutters or other interested parties. I kind of pro forma, but okay.
Good. Nobody's on the Zoom.
Yay, Rob, though.
All right,
Good.
I'll second.
Okay. All those in favor of this pool fence?
Aye.
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 I,
Okay. That will work. Now, if you can make any changes, let us know in advance. And this document just says that you certified that you'll be, any changes that you made would be brought into us. All right, so 11, 22. Yeah, you can.
Can you say your name, both your first and your last?
Svetomir. The last name is Christoph.
Christoph. Oh,
Svetomir.
Svetomir.
yeah, okay.
Wow,
Christoph.
thank you.
We don't know yet.
oh, you're not telling.
Oh, I proposed a name. The wife hasn't decided yet, so.
Good luck.
It's a girl,
Woo.
You're a wise man.
Christina Christoph. No,
but I gotta make it easy because I don't want, I'm struggling with my name, and people are struggling pronouncing my name, so. wanna
oh,
make it easy.
really, are they now? Oy.
Whoops.
Mhm. Oop, no,
Our quota.
gotcha.
The third item tonight is to construct a one-story commercial building with paved parking, landscaping, and a 6-foot fence at 11 Easy Street. And the owner is Joseph Keller. Down Cape Engineering is the agent. And again, this is the 11 Easy Street LLC, the owner. So we have anyone here representing?
Guessing it's the guy that's on Zoom. Let me see if I can get it.
There he
He's
is.
up.
There he is.
Daniel?
Okay,
Yes, hi, Dan Ojala from down.
good.
Okay, Dan Ojala from Down Cape Engineering. Oh,
What was that?
Well, I'm trying to say, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, wonderful. It kept saying that I was muted. My name is Dan Ojala. I'm a land surveyor and civil engineer with Down Cape Engineering in Yarmouthport, and helping Joe Keller and his partner out with the Old Kings Highway aspect of the permitting on this in this commercial zone. This is north of the highway, but it's off Summer Street, that small industrial zone there. Or they don't call it industrial anymore. They call it B3 business. And they're acre-sized lots. You may recall, I think we've been in front of you with a couple of these before. Well, I know this one was approved and the one at the end of the road was approved. But it's a typical metal building. It's not the prettiest thing in the world. But one thing I would say about this is that we're proposing about a 6-foot berm with some trees on it out front. So it's a nice screening measure. And the building itself is set back about 200 feet off of Summer Street. So you'd have to actually pull into Easy Street and to get very close to it. So it'll do just a glancing view through the trees. We've got a cupola on the top and it's metal paneling. The colors, we have a sample from a Morton building that was done down in Osterville. It's a silver side with a charcoal roof was the color selection on that. And that would be a typical color for these. It would blend in fairly well. All the talk about solar panels, we may be back for that. We've got a nice big south-facing roof that would probably do that. And I know at least one of the partners is interested in solar. But for now, if we could get permission on this, we do have our site plan review approval tomorrow. The landscape plan addresses all the trees along the common driveway and around the perimeter. And again, we are proposing a berm out front. So we think it's not very visible. It's in an industrial zone. You have to come off of Willow Street and down Summer and then look up Easy Street to even see it. And Summer Street is not particularly well traveled. IFAW is across the street, but we think will be a nice addition to the neighborhood. I'd be glad to answer any questions if you do have them. Thank you.
We've been out there before on the previous buildings that went in. So we're pretty aware of the location. This is an L-shaped building. And it'll be the first one when you come in that street. The roof pitch is pretty low. Some of the other commercial buildings in that vicinity, I thought had a bit more steepness. This is almost a flat roof.
Wow.
Yeah, it's fairly minimal. We're looking at a 1 in 12 pitch on this one, which is pretty typical for a metal building in this area. The one we have the photograph of, a Morton building, they'll use a big truss, and so they'll have a little bit nicer roof line. If we do go back to that style exactly, we'll be back, and you'd probably be pleased with the amendment. But because we have the little gable end facing the street, and it's a couple hundred feet back, and you've got the first 7 feet of it or so masked from view, we thought it wouldn't look too bad. You'd probably just catch the gutter mostly anyway, looking that far down. So we're hopeful that this would be okay. It is pretty much invisible from anywhere except a glance as you go by on Summer Street.
Yeah, this sample that I don't know if you can see us here.
I lost you somehow. I did see you before.
It was pointing out
Oh, now I've got it. Yeah.
the silver gray, etc. That has
Steeper.
maybe
Yeah, that's a much more attractive. And actually the same builder does those Morton buildings, a little higher roof pitch. I just didn't want to offer that right now in case we don't go with that particular builder. But we may well come back in with an amended plan that would cover that. But we're just trying to get through the paces with a standard metal for now. And then if we do that design, they'll generally come back with a little higher pitch on the roof. But
particularly, if you're thinking sometime in the future, it's a big building and you could use some help with solar energy. And it would be more effective if the roof pitch was steeper, at least on that wing. That one wing will be facing almost straight solar south.
Do more kind of thing.
Yeah, and so that one could have a steeper roof and then join in with the lower roof on the other roof, the main section.
And speaking of solar, is the building structurally going to be strong enough for the wind loading that comes with solar? So many metal buildings, they're perfect for solar, but they can't take the load. So will you be designing this enough for solar wind loading?
That's a great question. I think that would be extremely prudent to do, given the uncertainties of our fossil fuel supply.
Yeah.
That would probably be a very prudent thing to do. So I'll mention it to the builders to make sure they can support the clips and the little extra loading. I do know with these metal buildings, they design them pretty tight to the loads, so they don't, they can save on steel and beat the other competitor by a nickel. I think that's money well spent to stiffen those up just a little bit to hold the solar. I think that's a great suggestion.
In the roof design, you probably already taken into account the snow load, and the snow load is higher typically than solar panels. And the strongest roof would be this narrow section, which would probably be the best one for solar panels. So you should look at it, but I wouldn't expect it to be too big a problem.
What do you hope to have the people who are going to lease the spaces? What kind of businesses do you think will go in?
Yeah, it's a little tough to nail down, but we're thinking like a cabinet maker or an electrician might take most of the building, like an electrical contractor supply yard type, that was what the tenant was. We were eyeing to just try and get either one or two tenants in here. It's set up to have a little more, but that's sort of a trade, electrician, wiring contractor.
Thank you.
Okay.
I didn't mention, we are proposing to fence around, but the fence will be behind the trees looking from Summer Street. And it's a black vinyl coated 6-foot chain link. Some of these other ones have fences up already, and it's just, it's an industrial area and the kids come through at night. So we need to protect our stuff. So there is a fence, but it's well back from the street.
Any other questions, comments?
No, only to say that this is one of these applications that comes before us because geographically, the building does fall within our purview. It is in the Old Kings Highway District, but by any other measure, it doesn't meet the criteria of the act in terms of the character of the Cape. So I move to approve the application.
I'll second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Really appreciate your time very much. Thank you.
Good luck with it now.
Oh, it's that Steve guy.
Yeah. That's why I didn't come on Zoom.
Like a dirty penny.
This one looks so familiar.
I might have run through the ringer a couple of times.
Yeah.
The artwork gets better every time.
Yeah. Hmm. That's interesting. I didn't read this when I was reading it at home. The panels have a slate grid pattern due to a national shortage of black on black. Interesting. There we go.
I was gonna say, thanks for letting me know.
What?
I didn't realize that. I was gonna say that black on black panels like you would normally
Somebody
request.
put that in there, so.
I know the typical supply chain shortages have created,
Yeah.
wreaked havoc, I guess is the term.
COVID, blame it on COVID.
Did you- oh,
The epitaph of
why did I not
Well,
register?
it's blaming on
It was
COVID.
the blues, like pre and blame it on.
We've been down this road a couple of times, Steve, and everything's on the back, right?
Everything is on the back.
I see no
I
problem with
Couldn't
this.
even see the back today when I went by.
There is a letter. Did you read the letter? That says we
Butter?
can't do it.
There's a letter from the butter.
I don't have it. I don't have it either.
You
How
don't?
did you get a letter? It's in there. You didn't get it?
Oh, wait a minute.
I didn't see it. I haven't. Oh, it's on the back of the picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds probably about that.
Dear committee members,
Almost directly. We road. Adjacent.
we're writing to the committee regarding our concerns about the above noted project and the fact that it doesn't fit in with the charter of the Old Kings Highway Historic District Committee.
Jeez. I have to disagree.
This is from,
The letter, please.
yeah, I will.
Yeah.
Our home is directly located off the historic roadway named Weir Road in Yarmouthport. Our property, map 117-10, is located directly adjacent to the back of the subject property located at 6 Rising Knoll Path, where the planned solar panel installation will occur. Our properties are unique in how the back of each house is directly facing each other. It's not that unique. Happens all over the place. Our view from both our screen porch and our deck is a direct line to the back of the subject property. The screen porch is only 20 yards from the subject property, and our deck is only 30 yards away. As most people on Cape Cod do, we enjoy our screen porch and deck for about 9 months out of the year. The installation of solar panels will reduce the enjoyment of our outdoor spaces as a result of the unsightly solar panels. We are also concerned with the negative effect on the value of our property. Primary buffer between our properties are trees. Should the solar panel installation require the removal of trees for additional sunlight, this buffer will be reduced. In addition, many of these trees are located in the area covered by the Massachusetts Department of Environmental Protection, Wetlands Resource Protection Division. We are very concerned that all rules and regulations maintained by the state are followed. This noted wetlands area is primarily located on our property, but a portion is located on the subject property, and the required buffer zone is most definitely located in a southwest direction from the subject property. While solar energy is labeled as a clean and alternative energy source, there are still negative environmental impacts that are not commonly discussed. Photovoltaic panel production is linked to carbon emissions, toxic waste, unsustainable mining practices, and habitat loss. There is also a downside factor that there is a lack of recycling options for solar panels. We have attached a few photos for review by the committee. Please keep in mind that natural greenery is currently at its peak, but soon the leaves will change and fall from the trees. So the photographs are showing what the house would look like from their house. Closing, it says, we appreciate the committee's time to review our concerns during this review of the project. Please feel free to walk our property line, take your own view from our screen porch.
I don't see any notes in our project report indicating any tree removal. And I imagine if there is a wetland there, that we would not be allowed to do that
Right, exactly.
either. So
I was going to say that the effect of the wetlands is a positive thing because you'd have to get permission to remove trees. On the other hand, there are quite a few evergreens on this property on the front side of the house. And a similar type could be put on the back property line. Putting trees into the wetlands area is probably approved. Never had run into a problem doing that myself. My house.
Well, I'll antagonize my colleagues here by stating, and I'll antagonize the Frolics. They will see the solar panels. They will see the solar panels. I see my neighbor's solar panels from my home. And it's whether it's a roof or solar panels, for me, it doesn't make any difference. That's where I stand. And since it's not visible from the public way, we're not going against the ordinance. It's visible from a private person's way, and I don't think they have the standing to say we don't want to have to look at these. If they change the color of the shingles, they wouldn't have the standing to say we don't want to see these shingles. So for me, it's the same situation.
Well, we do usually take into account abutters.
Right.
I think the fact that the primary thing we look for is that you can't see it from a public way. And I think that is what we have here. It's not visible from a public way. If we're going to let the single abutter change that decision,
well, we have taken into account in the past.
we have taken into account
But if you
abutters.
go over into the Camelot area, there are several streets that back up to each other. And so you have a nice regular array going down the street of backs of houses facing each other. And there was a house there where the party behind them spent a lot of time on the deck in the summer. And it was an elderly lady, I remember. And we went over and checked it out. And we suggested that the homeowner installing the solar panels would put a few solar evergreens along the property line. And that satisfied the homeowner in the back, and they did do that. So that would be one thing to mitigate it.
Is it a condition though? Approved with that condition?
Yeah, we did. We approved it and we recommended that we put some there, and they agreed to it.
We don't have them here though to agree to it. How do we handle a condition that they may reject?
Yeah, we just have to. Can you make it?
I'm not in a position to make a phone call right now to them. This has been extended multiple
Yeah, right,
times.
right.
I don't really want to do that, but I don't want to lose the opportunity either.
Yeah, this letter is a new thing. What's
I'm
the
not
date?
discounting their concerns. I've not had a complaint. yet. So,
The other thing is the roof pitch is not really steep.
Right,
So
so
the
they're not that
reflective
visible.
problem, I think, is not going to be an issue here either.
Yeah.
I couldn't see the back of the roof today, driving by
No, you can't see it from the public
from
way.
a public way.
It's the
It's
these
the neighbor,
folks
the
who
abutters.
From the neighbors.
don't want to see solar panels, but I don't think we can deny installations based on a neighbor saying, I don't like them.
Yeah, I have to agree. I'm sympathetic. I think it's a well-reasoned letter. I understand the letter. But it doesn't have any relevance for what we do, in my opinion. So I move to approve the application.
I'll second.
Okay, all those in favor? of approval?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye,
Aye.
Aye.
okay. So,
I believe we approved another installation in that neighborhood a couple of meetings ago. So the neighborhood is definitely going that route.
It's a pretty street. Is it Weir Street?
Yes.
Off
Weir.
Weir Street, yeah.
That's a pretty street. Yeah, it's actually, I think it's.
Weir Street
Water
to
not
some other
to
street and then
something,
Rise Knoll
and
goes
Bluff.
up. Bent Bluff.
Bent Bluff,
That's a pretty street.
and it will still be
so if I
pretty.
can get your,
I hope so. Yes.
get your signature on this.
That's your job.
Yeah.
Keep it pretty.
This just says that we're going to
Yes.
make any changes, let us know in advance. Good. Thank you very much.
We won't see you for a while.
Are you going,
No, I mean, you're done with all of your picking up after the Trinity and, or which one was it? Vivian? No, he didn't pick up Solar Wolf.
Yeah.
no, Solar Wolf is,
That's another mess of worms.
yeah. Well, I've been with Sunrun 7 years and so far so good. They're okay. They're a major company,
Stable.
but they're generally they're good. Thank
Okay.
you.
Good night. Good night.
Bye-bye.
Are you guys down?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, where are you, Calvin? Oh, Katrina.
It's right next to the top.
I thought I recognized the pictures.
Yeah, chat room.
Yeah.
Well, that's Red Brook Harbor.
Oh, they, yeah, okay. Yeah. It's Karen's favorite place, apparently.
Chat room's my wife's favorite place.
Cottage in Thomas, so that's our summer hiatus.
There you go.
Thank you all.
All right, I'll see you later.
Okay. Now, we had minutes from the meeting, the last meeting. Yeah. Any problems?
No comments from me.
Other than the notes that Cindy had made.
I fixed all the stuff that's in.
The baton thing is tough, isn't it? You know, damn spell correct.
Every time.
It- don't
Word and
blame you.
baton.
I guess the guy who created autocorrect died this week.
Are you serious?
I couldn't be
What
happier.
took him so long?
Oh.
You young people, they're really screwing me up.
Oh,
you
bada boom, bada bing.
I think
I
it was
don't know.
90 or something.
Did anyone see, there was an article in the Cape Cod Times yesterday, which I don't get the time, so I didn't get the article until it came in my email today from Jim Wilson. And it was written by the chairman of the Sierra Club of Cape Cod and the chairman of the Sierra Club Massachusetts. And it was just kind of a general statement urging our elected officials to passed some legislation that's coming along. And Old Highway gets mentioned in it. And so.
For all of our good work.
So you can take a look at it if you have a chance.
Mm.
Was this an article or an op-ed piece?
Kind of an op-ed. It's written by these two people. That's the only thing I have that's new and different.
I could fill everybody
one.
in. Go ahead.
One, remember we had an appeal in Stanwich about this 3-story house, waterfront property and all that. And we referred it back to the Sandwich Committee. And the homeowner and their attorney decided they're going to appeal it up to court. So as it stands right now, it's destined to go to court, which would be probably in the next year or 2 or 3. You know, those things move slowly. And so I was surprised. I thought that I had a chance of getting approved when it got reviewed in Sandwich, but we'll see. It's about all that's new otherwise.
I could fill everybody in on Solar Wolf.
Oh, good.
Yeah, because clearly it's important to everybody here. So the town is taking a very active hand. In fact, they are asking that they be the point person, the town administrator, Bob Rittenauer. And unfortunately, we were able to put out a letter to everybody last weekend just to stay in communication, but there is nothing moving. It's all the fellow who it disappeared from sight is not declaring his bankruptcy, which would speed things along. Yeah. And so we don't have anything changing, which is extremely frustrating. Eversource, there are various permits, and the permit for the interconnection has a date timeline on it. They're going to push that, extend it however they need to, so that these people can find out what they're supposed to do before and then do it. Unfortunately, the SMART program in which is headed up by another agency in Boston is not being so accommodating. So we're trying to get the SMART program people, and that's the award for doing your solar, to understand that they say just go get another installer. Well, the installers don't want to take over the shabby work. So you can't go out and just get another installer. And also there's the money hang up. You've made a deposit for the whole thing. Now you're going to pay another installer to finish it. So it's a real conundrum. It's just awful.
What is your connection to all of this?
Not really none, other than being knowing solar. I'm a good.
You speak on their behalf?
I called Eversource on their behalf because
Do
I
you
know.
speak on Wolf's behalf?
Oh God, no.
So when somebody spoke to you about what the vetting process was,
Yeah,
and your answer was, we are not going to answer those questions.
at that meeting.
And what meeting was that?
There was a Zoom meeting that was
meeting.
held
Yeah, I
to
went
help
that.
everybody kind of come together. And I spoke up because the guy who is in charge of Solar Right Yarmouth, he's not very good at this. And I had helped him in the past speak. And I have enough savvy from running the Cape and Vineyard Electric Cooperative in bankruptcy cases to know that you have to be very careful about what you say. You can't offer information if you don't have information. And he was tongue-tied. He didn't know how to put that out. We can't answer questions if we don't have the answer. So that's what that comment was. We can't talk about the vetting process because we're not prepared to give you, that's a legal process that actually Mass Clean Energy Center took the lead on. So we're not ready to make any comments And certainly town of Yarmouth is not ready to make any comments because we just followed their lead.
Were you speaking on behalf of the Solarize Yarmouth Committee?
Speaking on behalf of
Friendship.
my friends,
Friends.
Joyce Flynn is a friend, Sandy Cashin, who's really strung
You
out.
yourself are not part of the committee?
No. Not on the committee, not in any way. Just a little more savvy, a little bit, I've had a little bit more experience than these people have. Running a business, going through bankruptcy, and doing solar. So I tried to step in and help them when I can. I run Zoom meetings fairly frequently. I run, for instance, there's a group called the Energy and Climate Committees of the Cape and Islands. I run those meetings, just bringing people together and convening meetings, and that's something I do.
And all to further the use of solar.
Yes, yes, I definitely think solar is where appropriate, what we need to do. I think wind where appropriate is what we need to do. I think natural gas is appropriate where appropriate is what we need to
Talking about
do.
natural gas. we're talking
But
about
I'm
solar.
not ruling out anything. I mean, I'm not blind or have blinders on. It's a big ball that we need to address.
Well, we're concerned with solar on Route 6A and in Old Kings Highway. That's our purview.
Right.
So
And as long as I'm on this committee, that's my purview as well. Absolutely. I would not approve if a project came to me on 6A and they wanted to put solar panels on, I would say no. Absolutely no. That is a historic area that needs to be preserved.
yeah, unfortunately, it's not just 6A though, it's the historic district.
And that maybe is something that we need to look at. And that's what the town of Dennis, for instance, looked at and made changes so that they could be more specific and yet accommodate the need to allow solar in certain places. So that might be something we will have to look at too.
Okay,
I'm glad y'all asked these questions. I don't mean to be,
Excuse me, did we okay
Disruptive.
the minutes
I don't think
before we
so.
went any further? We talked about the
We
minutes. didn't we?
didn't vote.
Well, then let's do.
Okay. All those of approving this panels.
Motion.
I'll move to
June
approve the
20
minutes.
I'll
June
second.
27th meeting.
We'll all second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Go ahead.
Aye.
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 I'm sorry, Richard, I don't mean to usurp. your-
Now you have to suggest that we
Adjourn.
adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Rob, say aye, quick.
All right.
Keep asking me questions. I don't mind at all.